Welcome to the deep dive. You know that feeling, right? That New Year's resolution high, full of promise, only to find yourself back in old patterns just a few weeks later.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Or maybe you're trying to build a new routine, like, I don't know, getting to the gym, and it just feels like this huge uphill battle against your own brain. Well, what if the secret isn't just willpower, but like a deeper understanding of the hidden forces literally shaping our brains every single day?
That's a great way to put it.
That's what we're deep diving into today. We're pulling insights from a really comprehensive scientific article titled The Science of Habit Formation, Building a Healthy Lifestyle One Step at a Time, which compiles research from a whole collective of experts.
Right.
So our mission for you today is to unpack the fascinating mechanisms of how habits are formed and, maintained, and most importantly, how we can truly harness this science to make lasting positive changes, especially when it comes to health and wellness. Think of this as your shortcut, maybe, to understanding the powerful psychological and, physiological processes that define so much of our daily lives.
It's absolutely true. The struggle to start and maintain positive changes, whether it's, sticking to a new exercise regimen or maybe adopting a more balanced diet, it's universal. We all feel it.
Right.
But what's fascinating here, and what the science offers, is a tangible, almost hands-on framework. It empowers you not just to try to make healthier choices, but to actually build a lifestyle that genuinely supports long-term wellness. And crucially, by working with your brain, not constantly fighting against it.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit then. When we talk about habits, what exactly are we talking about? The research we're looking at defines them as those small, repetitive behaviors that literally make up a huge chunk of our daily lives, often without us even realizing it, right?
Exactly. They become automatic.
And they have this profound, almost invisible impact on our overall health and well-being. I mean, think about it. Whether it's the moment you reach for your phone first thing, guilty. Yeah, or what you choose for breakfast, or if you remember to take a short walk. These are all automatic, kind of ingrained responses that really shape your day.
Precisely. And despite their central, pervasive role, forming the healthy ones isn't always easy. Most people know that struggle because, maybe for too long, we've approached it as just a matter of pure grit or willpower.
Right. Just try harder.
Yeah, try harder. And this deep dive aims to demystify why that often fails and, more importantly, how to make lasting changes feel much more achievable by, understanding the underlying mechanics.
That makes so much sense. So, okay, if habits are so fundamental, what's actually happening in our brains when we form one? I always kind of thought it was just about repetition, but it sounds like there's a bit more to it.
Oh, there's definitely more. This is where it gets really interesting, actually. At its core, habit formation is a process that involves the brain's incredibly efficient reward system.
The reward system, okay.
Yeah. So when you perform an action that your brain registers as beneficial, and this can be in a very subtle way, specific areas, particularly within what we call the basal ganglia, they light up and release a neurotransmitter called dopamine. Now, this isn't just a feel-good chemical. I mean, it is, but its role here is more like it essentially acts like a save button.
Ah, okay. Like, remember this.
Exactly. It reinforces the connections, the neural pathways related to that specific behavior, telling your brain, that was good, let's do that again.
So these neural pathways, when you say deeply ingrained, what does that actually mean for our brains? Does it literally become easier, like physically easier for our brains to do that action?
Precisely. That's a perfect way to think about it. Over time, actions that are repeated consistently, especially with that dopamine hit, become these, think of them like superhighways in our neural networks. They become significantly easier to execute without conscious effort. It's a powerful and really efficient process. It has to be, right? It allows us to engage in automatic behaviors, and that saves immense mental energy.
Right, because you don't want to think about every step of tying your shoes.
Exactly. Imagine if you had to consciously think through every single step of brushing your teeth every morning. It would be exhausting. This automation frees up our prefrontal cortex, the part of our brain responsible for conscious thought, decision-making, planning. It frees it up for more complex tasks. It's truly a marvel of biological efficiency.
Wow. So it sounds like understanding how our brain literally wires these behaviors is the real key to taking control, not just willpower.
That's the core idea.
And that's where these fundamental elements, cues, routines, and rewards come in, right? The research really breaks it down for us.
It absolutely does. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, The article explores how the brain processes these three interconnected elements to create that powerful habit loop. You've got cues. These are basically the triggers, the things that prompt a behavior. And they can be incredibly subtle, a time of day, a location, maybe a feeling, or even just an action that came right before it.
Like seeing your running shoes by the door?
Perfect example. Or, the 3 p.m. slump, cueing a desire for coffee or sugar.
Yeah.
Then you have the routine. This is the behavior itself, the action you take in response to that cue. So putting on the shoes and going for a run or heading to the vending machine.
Got it. The action.
And finally, the reward. This is the positive outcome. The benefit that reinforces the routine, making you want to repeat it. It could be the endorphin rush from the run, the sugar hit, the caffeine boost, or even just like the satisfaction of ticking something off your list. Understanding how these three elements work together is absolutely crucial because it shows us how they can be intentionally manipulated. You can use them to build healthy habits, sure, but also to dismantle less desirable ones. It becomes less about white-knuckling it and more about sort of tweaking these triggers and payoffs.
So what does this all mean then for, someone listening who's looking to adopt healthier habits, like maybe getting more exercise or eating better? This framework sounds like it could actually be a game changer, not just another failed attempt.
It truly can be. The article provides a really clear framework for individuals to approach this one step at a time. And that's key, one step at a time. It emphasizes incremental changes.
Okay, incremental, not jumping in the deep end immediately.
Exactly. Instead of aiming for some overwhelming overhaul, like deciding you'll run a marathon next month when you haven't run in years, which just sets you up to fail,
Right.
you identify a tiny cue, a really small routine, and a direct, immediate reward. This approach makes the whole process of lifestyle transformation feel far more manageable and, crucially, more lasting. It's about building momentum through small, consistent wins.
This raises an important question, though. If we focus on this incremental nature of habit development, does it mean we're less reliant on that often failing concept of willpower? Because so many people try to change habits through sheer force of will and, well, often fall flat.
That's a great question. And yes, I think it shifts the focus significantly. While willpower, that conscious effort, it can definitely get you started.
Sure, the initial push.
Right. But the science suggests that relying solely on it for long-term change is like trying to drive a car with the parking brake permanently on. It's exhausting and inefficient.
Okay.
Because once those neural pathways for a habit are laid down, they become, as we said, incredibly efficient superhighways in the brain. It takes far less mental energy for your brain to follow an established path than it does to carve out a completely new one.
Ah, path of least resistance.
Exactly. That's why when you're tired or stressed or distracted, you often revert to old habits. Your brain just defaults to what's easy, what's automatic. Understanding this underlying mechanism empowers you to tackle even really deeply ingrained patterns by focusing on manipulating the cue and the reward, not just trying to muscle through the routine itself.
That's actually a surprising and kind of powerful fact. The neurobiology, the way our brains are wired for this, helps explain why habits, once they're really established, can be so incredibly resistant to change. It really is like your brain is on autopilot.
It absolutely is. Think about trying to stop biting your nails, maybe. Or that instinctive reach for your phone the second you hear a notification, even if you just put it down.
Oh, yeah?
Even when you consciously decide not to do it, your hand just seems to go there, where your attention is instantly grabbed. That's those deeply ingrained pathways firing automatically, often bypassing your conscious thought entirely.
It feels like you're fighting your own brain sometimes.
Because in a very real way, you are. Your brain has literally wired itself for efficiency, based on what it's learned, brings some kind of reward, however small or unhealthful long-term. And it takes deliberate, consistent effort to reroute those neural superhighways. That's why understanding the full loop, the cue, the routine, and the reward is so critical. It gives you the leverage points you need to disrupt the old loop and start building a new one.
Wow. What an insightful deep dive into the science of habit formation. We've really seen how habits are these sort of